Hello everyone. Today in digital signal processing, our topic of discussion is different types of system. Now in our previous lecture, we have discussed about linear and non-linear systems. Okay. Time variant and time invariant system that we have discussed in our lecture. Now today I am going to tell you what is a causal system and how you will understand or how you will able to by the observation how you will able to understand which system is a causal and which is non-causal. Similarly, our discussion will be continued for static as well as dynamic system, stable and unstable system, and recursive and non-recursive system. Now start with causal and non-causal system. We know if we write the output expression y if we write the output expression yn is equal to hk x of n minus k. This comes from the linear convolution sum where k is ranging from minus infinity to infinity. So this is the expression of output. Now if I expand this, into two factors, one is the negative value of k and another positive value of k, then I can write it as k will be ranging from minus infinity to minus 1. This is a factor, and another factor is k ranging from 0 to infinity. Okay. Now if I expand this, what I find, that is h of, suppose it is starting from h of minus infinity x of n minus infinity. In this way it is coming to, I am taking only the last two factors. So the last factor will be minus 1 and previous one of minus 1 will be minus 2. So I am taking the value of k only minus 2 and minus 1. So h of minus 2 x of n minus 2 plus h of minus 1 x of n minus 1. Plus, now if I expand this, what I find, that h of 0 x n, this is for the k equal to 0, and for the next terms it is becoming h 1 x of n minus 1 plus h of 2 x of n minus 2 plus this way. So now if I just divide the portions, you will able to understand that this part, the n is actually, suppose the n is the present input, that is input at that instant. Okay. If I take n as the input at that instant and n is the instant and xn is the input at that instant, or it is the present input. Okay. So I am taking this xn as the present input. So this is the output. So that means what is this? These are basically addition of the different values of outputs for different values of n's. So, for different values of n's, we are getting different xn's. That means we are getting different inputs. So, if this xn is giving us the output for the present input, so this h0xn is the output for present input. Okay. So, if xn is the present instant, naturally x of n minus 1, definitely it will be the previous instant. So, all these values x from starting from positive value of k equal to 1 to infinity, it is giving us the output for the past inputs, outputs which are dependent on past inputs. So, if we take this part, these are giving us the outputs dependent on past inputs. Okay. Similarly, if we take this part, this part will give us the output. It is, if it is xn, naturally you can able to understand that, sorry, I have done it wrong, sorry, as this is minus, naturally n minus 2 means it will be plus, sorry, h is minus 1, so it will be x of n minus of minus 1, that means it will be plus. So, if it is the instant, it is the present instant, naturally x of n plus 1 is giving us the input of definitely future instant. So, that means these part are giving us the, this part is giving us the output of future inputs. So, these outputs are dependent on the future inputs. Now, what is causal system? The causal system is one whose output depends on past and present values of the input. Okay. So, that means in a causal system, these part will not be available. If these parts are available in a system, it will become a non-causal system. Okay. So, that means what is going to happen? If I want to convert this system, into only causal system, if I want to convert this system into only a causal system, what is going to happen? This part only remains. So, that means the value of the value of k is only starting from 0 and it is ending to infinity. So, this part will not be there. So, we have to remove this part. So, for system will be causal if the output response will depend upon hk and xn minus k, where k is ranging from 0 to infinity. So, by expression, as per definition, the causal system is the system whose output depends upon only present input and past input. Okay. So, when there comes future inputs, the system becomes non-causal. So, and if I want to write it in form of a expression, then it will become hk and x of n minus k for k equal to 0 to infinity. Okay. So, in this way, we can able to know how a system becomes causal. Now, the next thing what I would like to discuss, the next thing is, as I told you that this output the causal will be, there is a limitation of the value k. K will be start from 0 to infinity, and it will be hk x of n minus k. Now, from here there comes another definition of causal system. So, what we will tell in that case, we can also tell that an LTI system is causal. We know that this is the response output, the response of the system. Hk is the response of the system. An LTI system is causal if and only if its impulse response is 0 for negative values of n. Okay, so what is actually, so that means actually I want to tell that if the value of k here, we can also write the system will be causal if the value of k for the system is negative. So, h of k will be 0 if k less than 0. That means if k is negative, then the LTI system whose output response becomes to 0 when this sequence k, this value, that is the parameter which is the time parameter along with it, if these values are not positive, the system will give you a 0 output. Okay, so that type of system will be the causal system. So, an LTI system is causal if and only if its impulse response is 0 for negative values of time or sequences. Okay. So, from here there comes another definition. Now, if I want to write, we also know that when we are going for convolution sum, we can take we can make the folding and shifting operation on any of the signal, as it is a linear time invariant system. So, if I write the expression as this xk h of n minus k, if I write this expression, now for this, if I want to maintain or want to obey this definition that the impulse response will be 0, for a system to be causal, impulse response will be 0 for negative values of the time sequences. So, here when this value, when it will become negative, here this is the system. So, when it will become negative, it will become negative if k is greater than n. So, that means for this particular system to be causal, for this particular system to be causal, what we have to do? We cannot take the negativity of h. Okay. So, these term we have to strictly consider that the maximum value of k must be equal to n. So, the maximum value of k we write here. So, this value must be equal to n. So, what is about the minimum value? If we take it minus, if we take the value of k minus infinity, so minus minus plus, so h is becoming positive. So, we can take any negative value, but we cannot take positive values of k greater than n. So, for this system to be, if we write this expression for the system meant to be causal, we have to take care of the limits. Okay. Now, the next point is that if along with the system, here we discuss these two expressions are valid for causal LTI system. Okay. Now, along with the system, if it is also told that input sequences are also causal. So, input sequences are also causal if it happens, if it is along with this, if input sequences are also causal, then what is going to happen? That means for these two expression, the association with the x within this parenthesis, what is associated with the x should always be 0 or greater than 0. It should be a positive value. Okay. So now if for this expression, if we take the value of k equal to 0 for limiting value, x is positive, but this factor can only be negative when the value of k is greater than n. So that means if we want to write this expression should be written if for a input sequence along with the LTI causal system, if input sequences are also causal, then we have to write the expression like this: hk x of n minus k. We have to make these always positive. So maximum value of k we can take maximum up to n. So it will be ranging from k equal to 0 to k equal to n. Okay. Next is this part, second expression. Now if I want to write the second expression, this is the expression for the system to be causal. Now along with, if this x is also causal, then you can understand it never be minus value. This can never be negative value. It always start from positive value. That means it can start from 0 only. So the limiting value, the lower limit of k will be changed in this expression. So it will start from definitely k equal to 0 to make the input sequence causal. So k equal to 0 and we can take up to n. There is no problem for the input sequence. So it will be h of n minus k. So these two expressions are for systems are only causal, but the inputs may be inputs are non-causal. These expressions are for inputs and non-causal, but here the expression is system is causal as well as the input is causal. So these two expressions are coming. So here you can understand, you can find that both of the limits are just similar. When the input sequence as well as the system is causal, the limiting values are same, but here the limits are different. So be careful. Now I am going to give you an example by giving a numerical example so that you can understand how to identify a causal system. Okay. So suppose I am having a system like so this is suppose example y n equal to summation of k equal to minus infinity to n x of k. Okay. So you have to comment whether the system is causal or not. So what we are getting? We are getting that these value, this is the past, if this is n is k is the suppose n is the present value, definitely maximum value is n, and all the values are the past values, that is x of minus infinity, x of minus 1 x of 0. In this way we are getting the value of x of n. Suppose this value is equal to 2. So, you are getting the instant of this output. You want the output at the instant of 2. Okay. Now, what are the values you are getting? Suppose you just take suppose let us take n equal to 2. Okay. So, you want to get the output at the instant 2. So, you will get all the values, all the negative values, and x of minus 2 plus x of minus 1, which is all the previous with respect to 2, and then x of 0, this is also previous with respect to the instant 2, x of 1, and then x of 2. So, all the values you are getting here are the previous values. So, that means this system is a causal system. Okay. So, this system is a causal system. Next is if we want to go for a system which is having the output equal to x of minus n. So, how will you understand that this system is causal or not? Now, in this case, what you are going to do, you take the numbers. Here also you can get, you will take different numbers also. You can take 0, n equal to 0, you will to take a negative number, n equal to suppose minus 1 or minus 2. By virtue, you can able to understand whether this system, as I have taken it 2, you can take in a positive value, a 0 value as well as a negative value, and find whether the system is maintaining the causality condition or not. I am showing what I would like to tell you in this example. So, suppose the value of n, take the value of n equal to 0 first. Okay. So, what is if the n is 0? So, you want to get the output at 0th condition. So, what you are getting? You are getting that the output depends upon the present value of input. Now, you go for value of 1. So, if you take value of 1, the instant 1, what you are getting? You are getting that the output is dependent on the previous value, okay, previous value of the input, right. Next, n equal to 2, n equal to minus 1. Now, here if you take n minus 1, then you want the output at minus 1 instant. Now, what you are getting? You are getting that this instant depends upon x of 1. That means it is the previous future input. This is the future input. So, this value is the future value, whereas you want to get the output, but at that instant the output is dependent on the future value of input. Understand? So, it is not satisfying the causality condition. Naturally, this system will be a non-causal system. So, in this way, you can also do this. You can take n equal to 0. If you take n equal to 0 for this example, if you take n equal to 0, you will find y 0. So, y 0 means it will be the value of k is ranging from minus infinity to 0. So, it will come up to this point. So here for n equal to 0 you are getting a causal value. Now you take the value of n equal to minus 1 or minus 2. Minus 2, what will you get? It will be minus infinity to minus 2. That means from minus infinity your system comes up to this point. So here also your the value of the output depends on the present sequence as well as the past sequences. So that's why this system will be causal. Whereas here if we take 3 conditions, we are getting for the last condition the causality is not maintained. That is why this system is non-causal. Hope you all understand the causal and non-causal system. So our next topic is static and dynamic system. Now what is meant by this static system? Static system means the system which does not have any memory. Okay, whereas dynamic system is the system having memory. So that means it is basically memoryless system and it is the system with memory. So now what I meant by memory, you can understand the previous things we kept in we used to keep in our memory, the previous incidents and everything that happened in the past. Okay, so that means if a system is it is said to be if a system just depends upon that instant only, it doesn't have a memory, it does depend upon that instant. Whereas if the system doesn't depend upon that instant, it is having certain previous sequences are present, previous input sequences are present in a system, then it will be a with memory system. So if I give you an example, like if I write yn equal to a of xn, here you can understand that the input, if this n is n equal to 0, then the output, that is the 0th instant. So this 0th instant output depends upon only the input of that instant. Similarly, if n equal to 1, you will get that y1 will depend upon only that input at that time, only at n. Similarly, if you take a minus value, here also you will find that the output depends upon the only that value. So here the output of the system is dependent on that on the input sample of that instant only. So this type of system we will call them a static system. Okay, so this type of system will be static system. It may be another example, if I give you, it may be like this. Suppose axn plus b x cube into n. That means the order is 3, but it depends only on the nth instant, the same instant. That's why it is also an example of static system. Okay. Now, if I giving you example of dynamic system, how it will look like? Definitely in dynamic system, the input sample at the not only it doesn't depend upon not only the input sample of the same time, but on past samples also of the input. Okay, so it will be like, suppose the example is yn x of n plus 3 x of n minus 1. So what is happening here? Here we are getting that it is dependent on that value and the previous value. So if I take the value of y equal to 0, this input is on this same instant input we are getting, and we are getting another input which is actually on the previous value. It is dependent on a previous sample sequence. So if I go for y is equal to 1, I am getting this as like this. So here also it is a previous value. This is 1, this is 1, so it is a previous value. So if I test with the negative value, what I am getting? X of minus n, this is the instant, and 3 x of minus 2. Okay. So that means here, along with the present input, additional sequences inputs are present. So this will be example of dynamic system. This will be an example of dynamic system. In this way, if we can identify static system as well as dynamic system. Hope you all understand what is static and what is dynamic system. So our next topic is how we will understand if a system is stable or it is unstable. We all know that an LTI system is stable if it produces a bounded output sequence for every bounded input sequence, right? So now what is bounded? If bounded means you know that there is the input, definitely it should have a limiting value. It will be within some value, suppose from 0 to m or 0 to a, there is a boundary. So if this type of input is applied in a system but it produces a unbounded output, unbounded means it is diverging in nature, it is going towards infinity. So if the output response is like this, then the system will said to be unstable. Now how we will understand how to write the value of output and input. Now how to get, we know that the output of any system, if we want to write it in form of mathematical expression, if I take the modulus of output, as we are taking about the magnitude, so the modulus of output, we know what is the expression. The expression is hk x of n minus k, and this is ranging from minus infinity to infinity. So it should be also within mod if I want the magnitude. Now if we take this modulus, if we just dissociate this value, modulus of hk, if I take modulus of hk and if I take the modulus of x of n minus k, if I take here, what is this? This is basically the multiplication, the summation, it is having the overall modulus I am taking. Now if I take the modulus of hk and the modulus of xk, and if I multiply them and then put the summation, okay, that is I am taking only the positive values. Here the values, we have not mentioned the values positive or negative. Here what we have done, we have taken only the positive values of hk and xk. Now and then I am multiplying the positive values and then putting the summation. So definitely this value, if the value of this product is y, then if I take the only positive values, these must be greater than the value of y, greater than or maximum equal to, or maximum, not maximum, it minimum equal to or greater than. Okay, if so, that means the value of yn, this value of yn, modulus of yn is always lesser than if I write in this way. So what is if I write in it words that the magnitude, I will say the magnitude of the sum of terms, the magnitude of the sum of terms is less than or equal to the sum of the magnitudes, the sum of the magnitude. So this must be less or equal to this. Okay. Now here, as we have taken these values, the bounding value, what is the maximum value? Suppose my input, I have considered the bounded input. Suppose the maximum value of my input is m. Okay, so I will write, now if I follow this expression, I will write yn must be less than equal to, instead of this I am writing the instead of input, this input I am writing the value of it is, suppose m, the bounded input is, maximum value of bounded input is m. So I am writing that. So it will be m. Okay, and what we are getting? We are getting the impulse response is summation of impulse response, modulus summation of impulse response. Now if we want to make these conditions satisfied, it will only be satisfied. It will only be satisfied. This is bounded. I want to make the output bounded. That is the stability condition. It will be bounded if and only if this is bounded. This part is bounded. This is bounded. If I want to make this part bounded, it will only happen if the impulse response is bounded. So what is the meaning of bounded? That means it must be less than infinity. It should have a finite value. So for the stability, if I want to maintain this condition, my impulse response, to satisfy this condition, to make the output bounded, I would like to I found that this part, to make the output bounded, these mod of hk from minus infinity to infinity, this summation, this must be less than infinity. That means this should be finite, or this should be bounded. If two bounded, if the two signals are bounded, naturally the output will be bounded. Okay. So this is the condition for stability. This is basically the condition for stability. For a system to be stable, for a system to be stable, the impulse response of the system should be bounded. That means it should have a finite value. It should have a finite value. Okay. So if this is not if this is a series, you can understand. If it is a divergent series, naturally the system will be unstable. Otherwise the system will be stable. Okay. So I would like to give you an example. Suppose I am having a system. suppose I am having a system like this, it is given that the impulse response of a system is half whole to the power n u of n. This is a system. Okay. Now, it has been asked whether this system is stable or not. Whether this system will stable or not. So, what is the condition of stability? The condition of stability is summation of h n, where n is ranging from minus infinity to infinity. Modulus of this, mod of this must be less than infinity. So, this is the stability condition. So, what we have to do? We have to take this Hn and we will form this series. Okay. So, we are going to form this series and we will going to get what is the answer comes. So, what is mod of Hn? If I write, the series is becoming half whole to the power n un. So, mod means positive values, right? So, here also we know that un, when there is a un, you cannot, un will be, as it is multiplied with this, so un will be 0 for n less than 0. So, this part here we can omit the negative values of n, right. So, we can this is the first right equation, but as we will take the un equal to 1, naturally the value of n must be from 0 to positive values of infinity, positive infinity. So, I can write it like n equal to, starting from range will be 0 to infinity. So, then we can write un equal to 1 and we have taken all the positive values of n. So, I can write half of whole to the power n. Okay. So, it is a series of half whole to the power n. If I make the series, so the value of n when it is 0, this is becoming 1, and then half whole to the power 2, then half whole to the power 3, and it will go up to infinity. Now, this is a infinite GP series, infinite GP series. So, what is the expression? We know it will be, if it is the first term and the common ratio is half. If I take the first term as A and the common ratio as R, the formula of a infinite GP series becomes the first term by 1 minus common ratio. Okay. So, A by 1 minus R. So, if I write as per this formula, it will be 1 minus half. So, it is becoming 1 by half, that is, it is becoming 2. So, 2 is less than infinity. So, that means the system will be stable. Okay. So, in this way, if a system is given, we have to take the stability condition and we have to put the value of the system, impulse response of the system in the series, and we have to identify what the result it is giving. If the series is giving you a value which is infinity, then the system will be unstable, otherwise the system will be stable. Now, I would like to explain you what is recursive and non-recursive system. It is very important. Try to identify what is recursive system. because it will be very much required when we will do the filters. Okay, so what is recursive system? Suppose I am giving you an example. Here the output yn is dependent on the input only. Sorry, it's k. It will dependent on the input only. Okay. Now, if the output is dependent on input only, then this will be a non-recursive system. But we can able to write this expression. I will show you. I would like to show you that if I write this expression xk in the way that suppose I am taking the last value of k. So what is the last value of k? The first value, the minimum value of k is 0 and the final value is n. I am taking the n separate from the summation sign. Okay. So I can able to express this expression like 0 and I am taking up to n minus 1. So I am taking the summation up to n minus 1 and I am taking away the last value, the nth value. Okay. Now, if you see that the output, my output yn, this yn is actually dependent on the summation of values of inputs and then divide it with the number of inputs. So what is the number of inputs? From 0 to n, how many numbers? From 1 to n, if I take suppose 0 to 3, how many numbers? 0, 1, 2, 3. So that means 3 plus 1, 4 numbers. So that means if I take it as n, so how many number it will be? N plus 1. Okay, that means what here, what is the expression? Expression is, it is taking all the inputs and then taking the average, right? It is dividing the total summation with the number of inputs. So if I would like to write this will be within a bracket. Now, if I want to write this in form of output, can I write it? The question is, obviously I can write. How to write? I know that if I take this expression, I am getting that summation of xk, we are getting that this value, summation of xk, k equal to 0 to n, is becoming n plus 1 into yn. Right? Now, if I want to get the expression summation of xk, where k is ranging from 0 to n minus 1, then if I follow this expression, what it will be? When it is n, it was n plus 1. So, when it is n minus 1, it must be n. When it was n, it was also yn. So, it will be y of n minus 1 because this is n minus 1. So, instead of this summation, I can express this input with respect to previous values of output. What is this? If this is the instant value of output, this will be the previous value of output. So, instead of this summation, I can able to express it as n into y of n minus 1 plus xn, right? So, if I write this expression as n by n plus 1 into y of n minus 1 plus 1 by n plus 1 into xn. So that means these input here, the expression was written in a way that we are getting that only this system is dependent on the inputs only, in present input and the previous inputs. But we can able to write this system in this form, where the system output is dependent on present input as well as previous values of output. That means we can able to express the system response with respect to previous values of outputs. So if previous values of outputs are associated with the system response, then that type of system will be known as recursive system. If the previous values or outputs are associated with a system, then that type of systems will be known as recursive system. Hope you understand the concept of recursive system. Thank you for your patience hearing.